back to CS Coins. I should have some exciting videos coming out for you guys the next couple days. I got $1,450 worth of coin bags today, so I'm going to make 2 videos out of it. But for the first video, I'm going to go through a quarter bag and a penny bag. I'm going to save my 2 nickel bags for a different video. But I'm pretty excited to be back on the quarters. I'm hoping I can get on some W's, and I'm always looking for silver quarters. They're not very common, but they do show up in these bags. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it open, and we will see what I can find. First handful, I'm already not liking this. We got brand new 2022 quarters. And as far as I know, there's like no major errors or anything. I know there's supposed to be a, I believe it's a die chip on Washington's mouth. This one doesn't have it on some of these brand new quarters, but not too big of a fan of the design. I don't know how you guys feel about it. You can let me know in the comments, but I am not looking forward to these getting into circulation. I hope that doesn't hurt my coin roll hunting for the quarters here. Still in the first handful, and I got an interesting find here. This is a 2009 District of Columbia quarter. Always check it for that DDR with the doubling of the E right there. This one doesn't have it. But I do have a die chip, and in God We Trust. You can see the I and the N are connected by a piece of metal. So that's a pretty cool error find. I've never found anything quite like that. And I'm happy to be on the board already. That's pretty cool. I think we've got a pretty promising bag here. The errors have been amazing so far. I'm only first handful in, and I've got another error coin here. This one is a Homestead Quarter, 2015. And I always check for the leaky bucket. That's a die chip below that bucket there. And the snow on the roof. And I've never found either of those until now. I think I got a snow on the roof here. You can see that die chip on the roof. It's not supposed to be there. There is some staining in that area, but it's still pretty cool. I'll hold on to that for sure. Just a few handfuls in now. Not too much further than I was before. And I've got another pretty nice error here. I'm going to have a Salt River Bay DDO. I found a few of these recently. They're always cool to find. You can see the one on the right. That's just a normal Salt River Bay. And you can see the lettering is like really thin. And that's how it's supposed to look. And then if we look at this one on the left, you guys can tell probably just by looking at that how much thicker the lettering is. Get a nice shot of both of them right there. So that's another good find. I'm hoping we can keep the errors coming and get something else cool in here. In that same handful, I have a spitting horse error. You can see the die crack right above Caesar there. I've found a lot of these, but they're still pretty cool to find. This one's in pretty good shape. It's got a little bit of staining right here below Rodney, but I will keep on to this one. Keeping the error finds coming here. I got a 2021 crossing the Delaware with a bird's nest die chip error. You can see a tiny die chip on the left side of his hat. And I'm typically a little more selective of which one of these I keep now just because I find a lot of them, but this is a nicer example, so I'll be holding on to it. Nothing too amazing. I just thought I'd show this real quick. It's one of the best tone coins I've probably ever found. This one's a 1987p. But it's got some really cool toning on it. I think I'll pull that one aside. Nothing too special here. I just got another crossing the Delaware quarter with a die chip on the left side of the hat. So that'll be another find. Got a couple nice finds here. This is going to be another Homestead quarter, but as you can see on this one, there's like a floating die chip above the roof. So that one was pretty cool. I don't see any of the snow on the roof area, but that's pretty interesting. And I also ended up with a really nice, if I can grab it, 1971. It's in pretty amazing condition, so I'll be holding on to that one too. Got a second Salt River Bay DDO here. These are always pretty cool to find. I'm really hoping we can get a W, but we're getting to the bottom of the bag here, so it's not looking the best. But if we do, that would be pretty sweet. So that quarter bag was a bit of a disappointment. I was hoping for at least one W, maybe a silver, but I didn't find anything amazing other than some errors, which, you know, they're not bad finds, but I'm primarily into the silver and the W's with the quarters. So I'm going to try my luck at this penny bag now. Just looking around on the outside, I'm not seeing anything crazy. I did eyeball one wheat penny, but let's get into it. Maybe there'll be some cool errors. I don't find many penny errors, so that would be cool to get, you know, one of the close AM or wide AM varieties or something else good. We'll see. So I'm gonna get into this bag and I'll show you guys when I get a first find. So right away, I just opened the bag and I'm already gonna have a wheat right here. It is a last year 1958. Pretty nice looking wheat penny right there. Just pulled this one aside. It's a 1994, but look at the condition on that. Almost looks like it's brand new. So I'm gonna pull that one aside and hold on to it. That's pretty nice. I think I'm gonna have my first error coin here. I believe that's a small cud right below the bust of Lincoln there. You can kind of see there's metal filling in around the rim right there. So that's pretty cool. I've never found a penny with a cud. It's nothing serious, but it's still a pretty cool find. Well, I finally found a wide AM 1998. I've never found a wide AM Lincoln Memorial, and I think I finally got one here. If we flip it around, look at the distance between the A and the M there. I'm gonna put it next to a normal 1998. So the one on the right is how they're supposed to look. As you can see, the A and the M are touching. And the one on the left, there's a little bit more of a space between the two. So that's an awesome find. I'm so happy to finally have one of these. Nothing amazing or anything, but I found a couple more wheat pennies, 1950 AD and a second 50 AD. And unfortunately, I don't know where it went, but I am not seeing that first wheat penny that I found. I'm hoping it didn't get mixed into the pile here, but I think I did put it into my discards. I have looked through some of my discards and did not see it, so it might be lost cause. But I also found this right here. It's going to be a 1980, and it's got a pretty severe misaligned eye going on. As you can see, it's pretty normal looking on the reverse, but on the front, you got like a lot of the rim missing on this side because it's so built up on the far side. So that's a pretty nice little error right there. Still no luck finding that 58, but I pulled out a 1944 wheat penny. So that is going to be 4 total for the hunt, even though I only have 3 in my possession. I just saw this in my pile, and at first I thought it was my lost wheat penny because it's a 1958p, but this one's going to be quite a bit nicer. It's nice and shiny. It's got that red color. So this is the third 58 wheat penny, actually the fourth if you count the lost one. So that's kind of crazy. They're all from the same year. I'm hoping I can still find that one. I typically do pretty good at keeping track of my coins, making sure they don't get mixed into my discards, but I think I screwed this one up. Thankfully, it was only a wheat penny and not the wide AM. That would have really sucked. That was a pretty nice error coin right there. I'm pretty excited because this bag's been pretty slow on wheat pennies, but I can see 2 peeking out right after I pulled out new scoops. So first of all, we got a 1940 right here. Let's take a look at it. It's a little bit chewed up on the face, but still a wheat penny. Happy to have it. And we got a reverse right here. I'm thinking it's going to be from the 50s. Let's see. And I was right. It's a 56. So 2 more wheat pennies on the board. That puts us at 6 minus the one that I can't seem to find. Let's see if we can keep them coming. I'm hoping we're into a older layer of the bag here because I just sifted my first little part of the pile here, and I revealed another wheat penny, a 1947, and I'm happy to have that one too. Very nice finding these wheat pennies. It's been a slow bag for the wheats, but we're finally getting them going. I think I'm gonna try to make this a video more geared towards errors just because I found a lot of them, but I'm always on the lookout for the old coins too. But I'm hoping we can get on some more wide AMs. That was an awesome find earlier. This bag's really starting to heat up. I got a 56D wheat penny here, and that puts us at 8 total. Now that's what I like to see when I take another scoop out. Got another wheat penny. This one is a 50-60. Awesome. The wheats are picking up. It started out super slow. I was thinking it was going to be a pretty terrible bag, but it's turning out to be pretty good. So we still got quite a bit left, and hopefully I can get some more finds going. Got a couple cool toners I thought I'd show you guys real quick. I got an 83D. I'm not sure if that's artificial or natural toning. I really need to learn how to distinguish the two. It almost looks artificial to me, but I'm not sure. And I also got this one. This is a 2001D. This one looks a little more natural to me, but those are pretty cool. And I also spotted a foreign. It's going to be right here. That is a 1997 Commonwealth of the Bahamas. These are always pretty cool to find. Got the starfish on the reverse. I believe that's the reverse. I'm not too sure. But those are pretty cool. And also, I spotted a wheat in this bag a little bit. This one looks really nice. Let's see what date we got here. It's going to be a 51D. That is a nice looking wheat penny. It looks like a penny from the 70s or the 80s almost. So those are some pretty nice finds pretty quick there off my first scoop in a while. So hopefully we can keep them coming. Getting to the bottom of that pile I was just working on, and I see a wheat reverse. This looks like it'll be 40s or 50s. We'll see though. And it's a 45. I'm hoping we can break into the older wheat pennies in this hunt. Maybe get some 30s or below. That would be awesome. Seeing a wheat reverse on the next handful here. Oop. I'm thinking it's a newer one just based on the detail there. And we got a 40s. I can't really see that last digit. I think it's a 6 or an 8 maybe. But it's another wheat penny. Looks like we're going to have an old Canadian here. This is going to be a 1945 King George. And it looks like some kids were shooting it with some BB guns or something. It's got some wounds on it. It's pretty beat up. I'm sorry for my fingers today, guys. All the rolling of coins, it's giving me terrible hangnails. So, but anyway, on the board with an old Canadian. That's awesome. Not long after that Canadian, we're gonna have another wheat penny. This one looks a little bit older. I'm still thinking it's gonna be 40s, but we'll see. That's actually 50s. It's a 50-60. Not in the greatest shape, but we're getting quite a few wheats this hunt, actually. I was thinking, you know, I think since I looked in the bag, on the outside, I only saw like one wheat penny. Usually if you're like shaking it around a little bit, you'll see a few. So I thought I'd barely get anything out of this bag, and I think we're over 10 wheat pennies now, so pretty happy. I'm pretty excited about this one, guys. I'm not sure what exactly we have here, but it looks like it's a pretty serious error. I was initially thinking it was a penny that was struck with a cap die, but I think that's typically only on either the reverse or the obverse, and it's on both sides on this coin, so I'm not too sure what the deal is with it. I'll have to do some research and see if I can get some answers. Looks like I have a die crack on this 1992 penny here. You can see it above the E in 1 cent. That could be a plating blister. I've heard of the newer pennies having those, but since there's no other signs of anything else on the coin, I think it's just going to be a regular die crack. So that's pretty cool. I'm getting to the very end of the bag here, but we're going to have one more wheat penny. This one is going to be a 41D, and I think that's going to be it, but we'll see if we can scoop up any more errors or anything cool out of here. I can't believe how good this bag has been for errors. It looks like this one is definitely going to have a die crack. You can see it going up to the right of the 3 and the date, up through the S and God We Trust. So that is a really nice one. Definitely be putting that one in a flip. I was pretty amazed at how many finds we were able to get in that penny bag. I actually can barely fit them all in the frame, but you guys can see them all up here. We ended up with 15 wheat pennies, nothing special with those dates, although we did get 2 nice 50s ones. And I also got this 45 kg penny. So they're always pretty cool to find. Does look like I was shot up with a BB gun, but still a keeper nonetheless. So on top of that, we ended up with 9 of the 2009 commemorative Lincoln cents, as you can see it on the bottom there. We also got 2 toners. I don't think this one's natural toning. I just haven't really ever seen toning like that. So I think somebody may have done this themselves. Not sure on that though, because I don't know a ton about toning. But this one looks a little more natural to me. We got a 2001D here. It's got some pretty nice like golden bluish toning to it. So that was pretty cool. And as well as those finds, we ended up with 1 foreign, which wasn't Canadian. This one was a Commonwealth of the Bahamas from 1997. I find these occasionally. They're pretty cool to find. It's just a different kind of foreign coin that you don't see every day. And I also ended up with quite a few errors, so I'm going to go through a couple of those real quick. I got a 1992, and if we zoom in here, I'm pretty sure that's going to be a die crack going above Liberty there. It's not very strong, like it's kind of hard to see if you don't have it in the right light, but I'm pretty sure that's what that's going to be. This isn't an error, but this is like a really nice 1994, so I just pulled that one aside. I may flip that one up, just keep it in good condition. This one here, so I actually sent this to a guy I've been communicating with on Facebook, and he is a error dealer. He knows a lot about errors, and I've been going to him probably ever since I've made this channel, just asking him questions about some of these coins I find. So at first he said he was positive that this was a grease strike through error, and then he thought about it for a while and he said he's not sure. It could be a dryer coin. I am definitely not an expert with errors, but to me it doesn't look like a dryer coin. Usually the edge will be, you know, a little more wide, and this one has a normal edge like a regular penny. So it's kind of a coin flip if this is an error or not. If it is, it's probably a somewhat valuable one, just because that's a very significant thing to be happening to the coin. So it is some kind of strike through if it's an error, and if not, it's a dryer coin. But like I said, I've never seen a dryer coin that looked like that. So either way, that was pretty interesting to find. I did get a few pretty obvious die cracks. This 1983, you can see it going to the right of the date and up a little bit. Goes through the S and in God We Trust. So that one was pretty cool. Some staining on this coin, but other than that, it's in decent shape. And we did get one other die crack. You can see it right there above the E in cent. So these zinc pennies seem to have not a bad amount of die cracks. I found quite a few in this hunt. And then we're going to have a cud on this 1982. It's not a normal looking cud, but you can see there's kind of a double edge under the bust of Lincoln there. And in that edge there is some metal filling up. So that's, I believe that would be considered a cud, but either way, it's some kind of error and it's a cool find. And lastly, I usually don't keep on the misaligned dies anymore, but this one was pretty significant. Usually if you can't see any edge at all on the one side of the coin, I would keep those. Those are pretty nice. You can tell it's a misaligned die rather than just a off-center coin, because if you look at the reverse here, it looks regular. So the obverse was minted a little bit off-center, and then the reverse was minted regularly. So what happened is the dies weren't aligned to make this coin properly. The reverse die was correct, but the other one was a little bit off. So that's pretty cool find right there. I find a lot of misaligned dies, but usually none that are this significant. So I think what I'm going to do next is show this 98 wide AM. That is definitely the find of the hunt. I'm thinking I'm going to show this one under the scope. I haven't used the scope in a while. But this is a really rare coin. Like, I know guys that have looked through hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of wheat pennies, or not wheat pennies, regular pennies, but they haven't found any wide AMs at all. And I got one right here, and I don't look through these too often, so I was very happy with that. So I'm gonna pull up my microscope because I don't use that too much, and I want to start using it more. And we're gonna take a look at that 98 wide AM, some of these die cracks on the top here, and I'll probably pull aside some of those quarter errors just to show you guys those a little bit closer too. First, I thought I'd show a couple of these Homestead Quarters up a little closer, just because I've never found one like this before. So this is a snow on the roof error. You can also check down here for the leaky bucket. There would be a die chip underneath that bucket. But this one's actually going to have a die chip up on the roof. You can see it there on the right hand side. And for those of my viewers that aren't sure what a die chip is, so the die is like a stamp that stamps every coin, and the mint uses the same stamp for every coin for as long as they can. And eventually they're going to start breaking down. So what happens is on some of them, little pieces of the die will get chipped off, and then you'll get a little bit of metal that'll fill in on the coin where the chip was on the die. So the dies on these Homestead Quarters tended to be chipping a lot around the roof of the house here, the little cabin. So it looks like my computer's glitching up a little bit, but you can still see the, there we go. Still see that die chip up on the roof there. So that's one I haven't found before. I was pretty happy about that. And then if we pull up the other Homestead Quarter, this one has a die chip, but it's just kind of like on its own off of the roof. I've never seen any like that before. So that was pretty cool for sure. And it looks like we may have a mini little die chip down in the bucket on the left-hand side. You can see just a little glob of metal there. So I was pretty excited to find those. Like I said, I've never found these type of errors on the Homestead Quarters, and I've checked a lot of them, so I was pretty excited about that. So I'm going to show some of the errors on the pennies now. This one was on a 1999, and you can see a little bit of a die crack here above the E in cent. And a die crack stems from the same kind of error as a die chip. So when a die is getting like pretty old, pretty beat up, they'll start cracking a little bit sometimes. And when the die cracks, just like the die chip, a little bit of extra metal will fill in where that crack used to be. So it looks like a crack was just starting to appear right here. You can kind of, if I angle the light a little bit better, you can kind of see that it's a line. And this 83 was a pretty nice example, even though it's got some staining on it. You can see a pretty severe die crack going all the way up here between the S and the T. So that one was pretty neat to find. I find, you know, die cracks sometimes, like on the Spitting Horse quarters, I find quite a few of those, but you know, it's not very often where I just find one on a regular coin like this. So that was pretty cool. And another error I'd like to show under the scope is this 1982. And try to get it to focus a little bit better for you guys. You can see that the rim is kind of doubled around the coin here. And then on the bottom, see if I can get this to show a little bit better. You can see on the bottom there's like a little bit of metal filling into the one edge of the crack. So I think that would be considered a cud. It's definitely an error. So I was pretty happy with that. But the best find of the penny bag and of the quarter bag was this 1998 wide AM. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit to show more of the coin. So there's the obverse, and we can tell it's a wide AM looking at America on the back. You can see there's a pretty decent gap between the A and the M. And you can also tell by looking at the FG down here to the right of the memorial. So it's gonna have like, it's kind of gonna be fancier lettering, like it's gonna have serifs, whereas the regular FG on the pennies of that year were not supposed to. So keeping those factors into mind, I'm gonna show you guys what a regular 98 penny would have looked like. So as you can see, the A and the M are touching, and the FG looks a little bit more blocky and a little more plain, so it's not the same text used for that. So that wide AM was a great find. I've never found one, and I know of guys on Facebook and even YouTube who have gone through hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of pennies, sometimes even thousands of dollars, and they've never seen a wide AM. And apparently the 98 is one of the harder dates to find. These were made in 98, 99, and 2000, and there's a close AM variety to look for in the 1992. But this is a tough coin to find. It's worth about $10, so it's nothing too crazy, but for a penny, that's not a bad return at all. And this is definitely one that I will be keeping in my personal collection for a long time. Thanks again for checking out the video, guys. I'm glad I got back in the errors today. I was pretty happy with that wide AM. I've looked through a lot of pennies and I've never came across one, so that was pretty cool to find. And I'm planning on doing a lot more coin roll hunting in the next few weeks, and I'd like to get out metal detecting. I got a few sites I want to check out. But here in Michigan, the ground is like frozen solid. It's probably not going to be good to dig for a couple weeks, but I got a lot of good ideas for metal detecting. I got some cool sites planned out to check. So stay tuned for that. And if you guys aren't subscribed, please consider doing so. Only 25% of my viewers are subscribed, so the other 75%, I mean, come on, it's free to hit that button. If you want to see more cool coin roll hunting and metal detecting, feel free to hit up that subscribe button. And if you guys are already subscribed, maybe give me a like, give me a comment. If you didn't like the video, a dislike, it's up to you. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and there's plenty more to come. So thanks for watching, and have a good one.